Good morning, friends. Once again, I welcome you back to this class of video lecture. This is BA Part 2nd English Literature, Paper 2, Poetry and Drama. And today we take up a very famous poem written by William Blake, and the title of the poem is London. William Blake is one of the harbingers of Romanticism, including Thomas Gray, and he is the critique of the civilization of Europe of the times. He is anti development that was taking place. He was a sort of critique of everything which was being done in the name of progress. So uh, William Blake was born in 1757. He was a poet, he was an artist, he was a mystic and philosophic anarchist. He was an anarchist. He didn't believe in the existence of the state. He was of the view that state exploits people, the state exploits resources, and the common man is always left to uh, to pain or to suffer. So Blake was poet, artist, mystic, and philosophic anarchist. Was a Londoner. He was born in London, who had no real schooling, but was really apprenticed to an engraver. His engravings and drawings and his poetical and prose writings are distinguished by a soaring imagination and disregard of conventional restraints. This was his means of livelihood. He used to engrave, he used to inscribe, and whatever he inscribed and engraved was quite unconventional, non-conformist. Not unnaturally, he was stirred by the French Revolution and actually wrote about it. Students, when we are in second year English literature, so time and again there comes the reference of French Revolution which took place in France for the precepts like brotherhood, fraternity, and equality. So we all people of literature are supposed to go through the canons of French Revolution. How did it occur in France, and how did its precepts and ideals later on spread in the entire world and in Europe? And it brought out the concept of liberty, it brought out the concept of nationalism and freedom. And there have been many literary works based on French Revolution. The world today we see has been an outcome of that revolution, particularly the paradigms of nationality and nationhood. Not unnaturally, he was stirred by the French Revolution and actually wrote about it. William Blake also wrote about French Revolution. His most widely read poems are contained in Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience. His two famous anthologies are Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience. These are his two famous anthologies. About these two anthologies, question occur in NET examination, so you keep in your mind these two anthologies. Who wrote the anthology entitled Songs of Innocence and Songs of Experience? So the answer is William Blake. Similarly, you can make a list of all such famous anthologies written by extraordinary poets of English literature, from Spenser, the Amoreti. He wrote Amoreti, right? So there are many famous anthologies. One famous anthology is Palgrave's The Golden Treasury, right? Of which the earlier collection is marked by brightness and freshness, and the later by gloom resulting from experience of the evil there is in life. Yes, William Black, as a poet, as a philosopher, as a thinker, has been a critic of evils of life, which are the outcome of the progress of civilization. That's why in the poem he says, in the poem London, he says, I wander through each charter, I wander through each chartered street. Yes, this is a sort of satire on the entire British civilization, since there was the Charter of Magna Carta, which was passed by the Parliament of Britain in 12th century, very early. But now that all precepts and ideals of charter are being distorted brutally by the ruling class, though the each street is chartered, each street is supposed to have the reign of discipline and order, but there is no order, there is no discipline on the part of the state and society, right? So the street is chartered, the river Thames is chartered, each and every corner of London is chartered. Charter here refers to the canon of freedom, to the canon of equality, which was passed by the parliament very early in the 12th century, right? By it was passed by the parliament, by the ruling class, by the contemporary monarchs of that time, right? But it doesn't go like that, in that manner in which it was supposed to occur. So the evils are criticized, the problems of society are criticized by Black to a great extent. You know, friends, the poets are the critics of society, the poets are the critics of ruling classes' style of ruling over the masses, and they are the spokesperson of any age that reflect life truly what they see. They speak what is not spoken, they write what is not written. That's why the poets are appreciated in every age. And you could see here in Hindi literature in India, there have been a complete range of such poets who are supposed to be non-conformist and who are supposed to be the critics of society, the critics of governments. So less intelligible to the common reader, because very mystical are the prophetic writings, Milton, Jerusalem, and the prose. The famous prose written by William Black is A Marriage of Heaven and Hell. It's a very famous title. You know, Black is a mystical writer too, spiritual, very much influenced by Indian spiritualism. Are the prophetic writings, Milton, Jerusalem, and the prose, Marriage of Heaven and Hell. But the lyrics are simple and direct and charged with intense feeling. Now, friend, the present poem, London, appears in Black's Songs of Experience. It was written in 1794. Again, I repeat, the poem was written in 1794. In the words of Pinto, Black's famous poem, London, in the Songs of Experience, is connected with Walt's famous song, Whenever I take my walks abroad, how many poor see. From this poem, Black took the inspiration. The sequence of ideas in the two poems are the same. The strain of thought, most clearly represented by Rousseau, encouraged the notion that the convention of civilization represented intolerable restriction on the individual. Yes, Black takes up this particular thought from Rousseau that man is born free, but everywhere he is found in chains. His liberty is always suppressed, his position is always suppressed, and there becomes two classes in society. One is privileged and another is unprivileged. All such things have been truly, candidly reflected in the poem entitled London. So, represented intolerable restriction on the individual. Intolerable restrictions are imposed on individual on behalf of the state. Every kind of corruption and evil. Black talks of corruption, Black talks of evil prevailing in the layers, prevailing in the fabrics of society. This is in some degree the theme of Black's Songs of Experience. The present poem, London, gives Black's view of that chartered liberty. It mocks, Black laughs at the chartered connotation, since it was for the first time in the history of civilization that a charter was passed by the monarchs uh, about the freedom of each and every individual. So the poem London gives Black's view of that chartered liberty on which his countrymen prided themselves. It was a matter of pride for whole Britain that for the first time, from the premises of monarchs, a charter of liberty, of equality, of rights to men, individuals was passed, but that entire charter has been destroyed just to meet out the requirements of one particular class. So he exposes the indisputable ugly facts of modern civilization. And when the thought keeps on moving in the poem, what do we find? That Black is merciless in exposing the indisputable ugly facts of modern civilization. The so called modernity is at stake, the so called progress, the so called development is mocked by Black. Thank you, friends.